Hi friends, today to start our lesson we are going to be needing our pencil and our ruler. I'm going to hold my paper this direction to start, and I'm going to be making 6 lines that go from the top to bottom of my paper. Then when I turn my paper this direction, I'm going to be creating 5 lines that go from the top to the bottom of my paper. If you do not have a ruler, you can always use the edge of a book to create a straight line as well. If you don't have either, we're just going to try our best to create straight lines on our own, and it's okay if they're not perfect. So I'm going to start by taking my ruler and going from the top to the bottom of my paper, trying to make it as straight as I can. So here's one. Then I'm going to make my next line. I'm going to move it a little bit over. I'm going to try to make the spaces in between my lines different sizes so they're not all the same. Here's 2, and maybe I'll make a bigger space. Here's 3, and then 4 is going to be really tiny. 4, and here's 5, and my last line is 6. Okay, see how I have them all going in the same direction? They're not crisscrossing like this, okay? They're all going from the top to the bottom. Now I'm going to flip my paper in this direction, and I'm going to make my lines go from the top to the bottom. Again, making nice straight lines. This time I'm only going to do 5. So I'm going to start right here, going from the top to bottom. And the next one I'm going to do a slightly smaller space. 2, and then I'm going to make 3 a little bit bigger. 3, 4, and 5. All right, here is my paper so far. It kind of looks like a checkerboard a little bit, but with different size rectangles and squares. Now before I start tracing with my black marker, I'm going to take my eraser and I'm going to erase out a couple of lines. I don't want all my lines to be straight up and down and straight across. I want some to be different shapes as well. So I'm going to erase in between here, creating a really long rectangle. Maybe I'm going to erase in between here, again, to create an even bigger. I don't want to erase everything, but just here and there to create some different size squares and rectangles. I think I'm going to erase in here. Maybe I'm going to erase a line going across here. Just pick and choose where you want to erase, okay? I would say maybe 5 different spots to erase, and then we can get started on the next part of our lesson. All right. So now, after I erase a couple spots, I'm going to take my Sharpie and I'm going to trace over top of the lines that I still have. So I'm going to start by making my lines that go straight up and down. I'm going to try to do this the best I can. It's okay if yours aren't perfectly straight. It's hard to make a straight line. Okay. Now try to remember where you erased too. Hopefully you erased well enough, because you might have to stop and start your line again. Okay, like this spot right here, I erased some of these lines, so I'm going to stop, boop, and then I'm going to start on the other side. Same with this one, I'm going to start a little bit lower because I erased that out, and I'm going to start on the other side. Okay, now I'm going to flip my paper the other direction to get these other lines in here. Tracing carefully with my Sharpie or black marker, whatever you have. If you don't have a black marker or Sharpie, a crayon or black colored pencil would work as well. As long as it's a dark color, hopefully black, but just so we can see these lines and make them stand out more. Remember where I erased. Okay. So now I have all my squares and rectangles, and I'm ready to start coloring with my primary colors.